Alright, and for our next little project here, we are going to be doing a walkthrough companion of sorts with Dark Souls Remastered. So we will be starting a new character and playing through the entirety of the game, offering tips and hints. We are doing this, like I said, as a companion of sorts. There's plenty of walkthroughs out there. However, I'm doing it as a companion guide for a friend of mine, so that way he can have a visual, easy to understand representation as I try to give him some tips and hints along the way. So we'll create a character just like he had, and we will play through the entirety of the game so that he can use it as a reference tool. So for now, let's go ahead and hit New Game. And I like to name my characters based on their purpose, so we'll just call this one Walkthrough. Rest of this really doesn't matter. He started as a thief, so we will choose the thief character. For gift, I'm going to pick none. You can pick anything, honestly, but the cool thing about this is all these gifts, there's nothing that's unique. You are going to be guaranteed. You always get all these items later. So I like to pick just none if I don't care. An easy way to KO the tutorial boss pretty quickly in the gift section though is to pick up these black fire bombs, so you can use it for like a quick run. And like we said, we'll just default a ton of stuff, doesn't really matter. So there we have it. Here's our walkthrough character. We'll go ahead and start the game with him. And I'll skip the cutscene. So, first off, as we enter into the undead asylum, we have to pick up this key and advance out this door. Little messages on the ground will tell you the controls of the game, if you don't already know them. And this part here, I will go ahead and preface. My friend picked up the Nintendo Switch version of the game. I unfortunately do not have a Nintendo Switch, so I will unfortunately be unable to actually play with him until I either get one or he gets a PC version. Because I am currently playing it on the PC, as you can see with my system stats down at the bottom left. The one thing I do like about Dark Souls Remastered, I don't know if this is on the PC only, but they added a UI scaling option, so I could shrink back the UI, and get as much of the world view as possible. So here in this room here, as we've progressed forward, this is going to be where the tutorial boss is. If you actually look up, you can actually see him waiting to come crush our face. So, first and foremost, as we enter the room, he will drop down. We want to progress through this opening door here. Now, if you want a arduous fight, feel free to take him on. But we'll light this bonfire here and go ahead and rest at it. Progressing forward, get our target shield. We'll serpentine to avoid these arrows. We can fight this guy if we want, but we don't really do any good damage until we pick up our knife. So let's go ahead and swap out the knife and equip the shield. Now we can mean business. So we'll serpentine his arrows a little. There you go. We will spam R1 to drop the enemy. Sorry about that. Progressing forward some more. I don't think there's anything over here just yet. You've got to come from the third floor where you can get that item. But we're going to go up ahead. Be careful here. the top here, if you see, there's a black object. It's a ball that will roll down as we step forward. So we drop off the ledge. It smashes through this wall here. And here we find Oscar.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead.
Alright, we're going to listen to him.
I have failed it, but perhaps you can keep the torch. There is an old saying, thou who art undead art chosen. And thine exodus from the when thou ringeth the bell. Well, now you know. Oh, and oh. Now I would hate.
And we'll just leave him to his fate. Come down here, open this door just in case we need it. And we can progress back up to the 3rd floor. So got this guy. Oop. Go ahead and drop him. There's that key. Take on the archer. And I'm gonna go ahead and not kill this guy for a second so I can explain the mechanic. I've got my lock-on set here. He is a forward thrusting enemy. If you raise your shield with the lock-on and just circle strafe around him, you can get to his back for a backstab critical attack. You are definitely going to want to take advantage of that mechanic, especially in this type of a setup, because the thieves don't do direct. So let's go ahead and do a dropping attack. Get tons of damage against him. You want to stay at his back and dodge just before the moment of impact, so that way his weapon will miss you. Oh, see there, I didn't. And he's going to do his raise attack. I will circle strafe back around. Oh. Need to get back away. Getting some good hits. I was gonna say, we are stuck. So fantastic. So we'll just run back up and through. Bum ba da bum. Good gracious. Okay. Alright, there we go. Now once we get over here, there's a single item that we will want to pick up. If you don't get it now, you should be able to get it later. But it's some free souls, and might as well not pass it up. I'm gonna let this part play for a second, because this is probably one of my favorite scenes in the series. Right here with the crow or raven or whatever it is.
That one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage.
Very nice. Okay. So like it tells you across the top here, you can level up and kindle now at the bonfires. So we will want to do that. And we'll go ahead and explain the first. Level up is going to be a bit more in-depth, so let's discuss the kindling. Reverse hollowing and kindling, these two are kind of hand in hand. In order to kindle, you must be in human form or not hollowed. Right now you can see my character has dead zombie-like eyes. That's because I am in my hollowed state. So in order to reverse hollowing, as it says, you don't have humanity. Now, your humanity is based on the item counter at the top left hand of the screen. You can see 2 gray zeros there. Now, you can earn humanity. Soft humanity is as that counter goes up. You can earn those by killing certain enemies, or just, at random after, 25 foes or something like that. You gain it as you play. You can also gain it through PvP interactions. But also there's what is referred to as hard humanity. Let's go ahead and check our inventory here, where this is an actual inventory item that I can consume that will gain 1 humanity for me to use. So we can use and spend that at the bonfire in order to return to our human state. When you're in human form, you can then kindle. As you can see here, it tells me I can't do it while hollowed. The other rule is you must use a humanity in order to kindle the flame. It expends it from your counter up top. So there are 4 states, well 5 states really, a bonfire can be in. Not lit is the first. Lit, but unkindled. And then there are 3 additional levels of kindling past that. There's, like this one here, you can see, the fire is high compared to the other bonfires we were at. This is like a medium fire. Our Estus flask count down at the bottom left is also 10. This is because it's kindled once. Each time that you kindle a fire, it will go up and give you 5 additional Estus flasks usage. So standard bonfire light, no kindling, will be 5. If you kindle it once, it's 10. Kindle it twice, 15. Kindle it 3 times, you will get, I think 20. I think 20, and I don't remember if that's like a per bonfire, like some can go to 20, but not others. Either way, I think it might be across the board, but it takes a lot of humanity, which is a rare, semi-rare resource, in order to get to these points. An additional stipulation, you can't get to the final 2 states of kindling until you earn the right of kindling. That's a passive ability that you will gain later in the series, in the game. So, late game, you can start getting more Estus flasks, or if you know where it is, how to get it, you could get that right early so that you could start gaining access to additional potions early. I say potions, they're flasks. There are different types of mechanics, but by and large, they kind of work the same way. There's just a lore difference. So, there's kindling, there's the hollowed state. You will return to a hollowed state on character death, so be careful on that. You can tell if you're in a hollowed state or human state by either checking your character's eyes, like I do here, they're zombified, or the counter at the top left that we referenced before, the humanity counter. In a hollowed state, it's gray. In a human state, it's white. So you can use that as a visual representation to remind you of what state you are in. Now, leveling up. We are currently sitting on almost 2,500 souls, so leveling up would be wise here. So we should be able to get 3. So you have, I think it's 8 different stats in this game. So we have 8 different things to consider. Vitality is going to be only for our HP, pretty much. It also is going to, as you see I've played with it a little here, it will also help govern some of our defenses. You're strengthening the character's body. Attunement has to do with your magic, and additional ability to cast different or hold on to different spells. So like in this case here, by going up to 12, I have 2 attunement slots. I can attune 2 different abilities that are magical for use, just like I do my flasks. Endurance, that's going to govern your stamina and equipment load. So it also gives a little bit of defense, but the stamina and equipment load are going to help us. Stamina, you get more character actions like attacks, dodging, defending with a shield. Equipment load, you want to raise that so that your character can actually equip heavier armors, heavier weapons, etc. Strength and dexterity, both are the same concept. These are going to be your weapon damage stats. So if a weapon calls for it needs X number of strength or X number of dexterity, you need to level these 2 up with the corresponding symbols here. You need to level those up to then meet the requirements for the weapon. Sorry about that. Anything past the standard requirements are going to give you additional bonuses. There's weapon scaling that gets considered on a scale of E to S. E, D, C, B, A, S. So the higher the scaling on that, the additional bonuses that you will get by raising your stats in that corresponding category, be it strength or dexterity. Resistances will allow you to be more resistant to things like poisons, bleeding, I believe. I know there's a couple other additional effects that it can offer, but by and large, I will raise my resistances as I need them, but most of the time I focus on the other stats first. Intelligence and faith, these are more going to be for your caster type characters, or if you need to apply a magical buff to a weapon, be it something like Lightning Blade or Dark Moon Blade, or if you want to start using some character related spells as well. I don't think pyromancies in this game were tied to any stats. I think they were statless. Whereas in Dark Souls 3, I think you can actually increase your pyromancy damage by also leveling other stats. So I think in Dark Souls 1, which is, again, I've not done a pyromancy run just yet, so I'm talking a little out of my memory here. But a thief is akin to a warrior, which is more what I typically play and what most new players that are just like, you know what, I'm going to be that knight in shining armor, whatever, sword and board character with a shield, good sword, let's do this. Those type of characters are going to rely mostly on vitality, endurance, and strength. Your thief will also rely a little on dexterity, so you might have that trinity of leveling. Your caster characters are going to rely possibly not on vitality, because their goal is not to even be close enough for their health to matter, although that may not always be true. But they will have to manage additionally intelligence or faith. Whether they're casting sorceries, they'll need intelligence, or miracles, they'll be using faith. So for now, since we've gone ahead and decided to be a thief, let's go ahead and we will get, well, I want to cover our strength to at least 10, because with 10, once we get to the next area, we can purchase a shield that has 100% defense against physical damage, and that'll be useful. And actually, let's just go ahead and get those all into strength. One final caveat on character leveling: you can take it any kind of route that you wish to take it, but there is one thing I strongly suggest that you look up, and that is, no matter which Dark Souls game you're playing, if you want to level your character and you don't know, exactly what you want to do, check the wiki. The stats are very basic in what they do, so you get the basic gist of, okay, this is going to raise my character health. However, there are a lot of formulas at play in that decision. So what you will want to do is look up specifically, like in this case, Dark Souls 1 level soft caps, because there is a threshold that once you hit it, I think it's level 40 or level 50, once you hit that point, your character's leveling in that category will experience diminishing returns. You'll still get returns, it's just it will be greatly reduced. There are still additional points to be earned, but you're going to have to level a lot harder to get them. So it's up to you if you want to continue and press forward. I know when I was doing one of my characters, I was like, you know what, I'm leveling about once every 15 minutes. I'm just having fun. I'm doing this in the, while I'm focusing on something else. Let's just level strength to 99. And I did. I didn't regret it, but when it came time for me to actually start leveling another stat, I then had about 30 to 40 levels of, wow, I wish I had leveled a different stat, because now it's a lot harder to level another time. My required souls was through the roof. Additionally, this is a difference that you need to be aware of for Dark Souls 1 and the remaster, which it's based on. Dark Souls, the first title, you cannot respec your character's leveling. So like in 2 and 3, there was a specific item that you could use, and it would allow you to then reallocate your character levels to say, I made a poor decision, let me just go ahead and pull those 6 levels out and put them somewhere else. You can't do that in this game. So you need to make accurate decisions or power level to overcome them. So that's just something to bear in mind. And we'll give more along the way as we continue leveling. But for now, that would be my PSA for those that are watching. Just be careful as you level. Be aware that there are soft caps, and you can check them out online in the wikis to figure out exactly which threshold you want to be at. So now that we've leveled our character, we can go ahead and press on from here. Now from this bonfire, got an NPC just sitting over there. There are actually 3 different directions that we can go. If we go up through here and head down that direction ahead, it will eventually lead us to the graveyard, where you can fight a bunch of different skeletons. You can also earn the right of kindling in that direction. The downside is you've got to be able and willing to fight against the skeletons, who don't die unless you have a blessed weapon, or you're able to kill the associated necromancers. So, a bit more of a difficult path, usually intended for more experienced players. Down here, we will lead to the ruins of New Londo, and down there you'll have to face off against ghosts, and the ghosts you can't hurt unless you are either cursed or have, I think, a blessed weapon or cursed weapon. So we have neither, so also not recommended for new players. Right off the bat, we're going to go over here though, pick up 3 humanity, and this little path right up here leading up the side of the hill is the direction that we want to go. Because this path will take us up through a couple of enemies and then lead into the first area of the game. So we'll use the circle strafe to just avoid the damage. He's just going to jump off the ledge, that's great. We got that dude just chucking firebombs. Drop that guy because he's very hostile. Ow. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and chug once. The shield strafe technique here against this guy. Oh, he's not even going to put up a fight. So we will progress over here. And back inside the sewers, we've got a little rat to take care of here. You've got to be careful fighting the rats. Their attacks will poison you. And if you get poisoned at this stage in the game, it's pretty much a death sentence for new characters, because we don't have the items to actually get rid of the poison. So, and let me take one quick second. I mean, they're waiting. Okay, I've got it set to 3. Hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. I'll check the video afterwards and we'll adjust it if it is. Oh. If you go through those barrels, there is a little shortcut down there and there is an item. I'm going to progress this way first. There's also an item right here. Free souls. If you've been attempting this jump right here, you will unfortunately be unable to make it as far as I have seen, because you need to actually make the jump from the roof once we get up there. We'll just let the red drake pass for now. Some additional baddies. Ow. And with these guys, you're going to also use the circle strafe, but you're going to tap on their shield because they like to turtle up. Oh. He got a little more hostile than usual. So down through these boxes, there's going to be an enemy waiting behind this bookshelf. We'll drop him. Proceed ahead.
Well, you seem to have your... Then you are. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
Seems like a charming little chap. So let's go ahead and purchase items from him. If you started as the thief, you get the master key, so you won't need this residence key. At least I don't think. So I mean, it depends on what you're going for. You could pick up a couple different items. For now, I'm content with what we have. We could pick up things like fire bombs, which are good fun, but we shouldn't actually need them.
What'll go and...
Rather charming chap for, you know, not purchasing anything. So, and now I'm going to take a little divergence from the normal positive path of, you know, jolly cooperation for a second, because this man actually also holds a secret, which for thief characters, if you're, you know, feeling a little bit like the bad guy or a chaotic, that's up to you. But if you actually kill this undead merchant, he will drop a unique katana that we will use. So, my apologies. I know you didn't do anything wrong, undead merchant, but, well, I want your loot, so sorry about that.
You've gone mad, have you? I mean, it's Julia.
Oh, and we also get the residence key for free. Hey! So, go ahead and give him a, you know, do I have any gestures that are slightly more appropriate? No, I don't have anything yet, like collapse. So, I'll at least give him a hearty little nod. And we will check out the Uchikatana. So we need 14 strength. I'm glad we leveled strength before. We need at least 14 strength. Now, and this is where I mentioned that scaling. So it requires 14 strength, but if you see the parameter bonus on the left-hand side, the dash across means you do not get additional scaling for that item. So regardless of the 14th strength that it requires for us to use, it's not going to get any additional bonus power with strength. So it does have a B scaling on dexterity. So as we level our dexterity, we should gain additional bonuses from our dexterity leveling. Now, if we were to equip it now, it's going to be like, yeah, no, you're not good with this. You don't meet the recs. So if we try to use it, he's all like, ugh, it's so hard, it's so heavy. However, if we two-hand it, suddenly he's a master. And the reason we are able to do this is because our character stats, if you see our strength, we have 12. When you two-hand a weapon, you gain a bonus of output equal to half of your character level stats. So that 12 is gaining a bonus of 6 for a total of 18. So by two-handing the weapon, suddenly we're able to actually use it efficiently. But we go back to one hand, we lose our bonuses. So, fun little mechanic. So now that we've been jerks, killed a guy for no apparent reason except for his weapon, let's progress on. Here we got two guys coming at us. Drop them. Two more. Oh. Aha! We got a soft humanity for that. As you can see, our counter has now gone up to 1. Got some throwing knives. And now that we're on the roof, we can attempt this jump. So jump is tied to the same dashing button. There we go. We can wrap up and around and earn a free crossbow. Here, I think we could drop down, but we might as well come back over here where we drop down for far less and take no falling damage. Sorry, I just heard somebody walking and it sounded like they were trying to come and kill us. Oh, it's that guy. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, this broken ledge over here you can see. You've got to be a little careful on character positioning. If you come on this side, you will most assuredly fall. And look, looks like he's actually come to fight. Hey there, hello. So we'll just go ahead and take care of him. And if we position ourselves... Oh! Little corner got us. Nope, not quite. I am not the best at platforming. There. Come over here and get this hard humanity. And if we wanted, we could drop down that way. But I'm more interested in showing this path now. So we can get those large souls, drop down. Oh, didn't quite get them. Now here we need to be careful. It's very easy to get ambushed. So in aiming for their fingers, knock them down. There we go. Got some rubbish. Worthless, but fun. And there's that ladder we didn't go down. So we can go back over here and proceed forward. Incidentally, this is one of the key reasons why many players enjoy this version of Dark Souls, is the interconnectedness of the world, because we are now back to where we were before. And we will go into this bonfire now. So we can go ahead and rest at this fire. I'm going to go ahead and illustrate the kindling process. So we've got 2. So I can reverse hollowing. We'll enter human state, and our number just went white. And now we can kindle. And our Estus flasks are currently 5. And now they are 10. So that's how we can kindle each individual bonfire. And like I said, it is each individual fire. So it allows you to be a little strategic about it. You can pick and choose which ones you want to kindle. You can also just blitz your way through and gain as many humanity as you can through farming or PvP, and just kindle every bonfire in the game to its max potential. By all means. Once you kindle a bonfire, this is for later, if you go into a New Game Plus, once you beat the final boss, you will be able to come back into the game at a higher difficulty, but your bonfire kindled level will stay the same. So if you've gone ahead and kindled every bonfire in the game, you will enter the game again at a harder difficulty setting, but you'll also have access to your maximum potential for Estus flasks. So a nice little trade-off. But let's go ahead and pop some of these souls that I have in my inventory to get them for spending. So we should be able to get, looks like 3 level ups. And we said strength had to be at 14. And we'll raise 1 dex level. So now we can go over here and look at the Uchikatana, and we can actually equip it. And you can see here its base damage unmodified is 90, but we've got a plus 19. The plus 19 is coming from our dexterity's parameter bonus. So very handy to actually go ahead. I switched out to this shield incidentally because it goes from a 78% physical block to a 93%. Not quite 100% just yet, but we're getting there. So we should be getting that one soon. Free item. Now I'm back over here killing the same enemies as before. These enemies will continuously respawn. So if you want to go through and kill every single one of these enemies repeatedly, he's not giving up. There. So if you want to farm these enemies, I was able, like you saw there, to get a decent number of souls relatively quickly. I highly suggest you do so, especially at the beginning. Get some good practice in. Get some character levels pushed up. I like to get my damaging stat. So in this case, dexterity is our bonus. So we can rely on that. Oh. I like to focus on it until we get to at least about 25 usually. I also, like I said before, I take this opportunity to find my character rhythm, because you don't want to press on into harder content before you found your character rhythm just yet. Don't make the game harder for yourself than it already kind of is. but we can quickly earn in this little loop about 500 per. So it looks like we need to do the loop one more time to level up again. Oh. Circle, 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 circle. Come on! Nope. There you go. Okay. So we're gaining a little bit more confidence with the character. And our dexterity is going up again. But as you see now, if we go over here, it was about 108 or something like that before, whereas now it is 115. We did 63 damage on a thrust before. We now do 66. It's not a ton, but we are doing additional damage now. And you may be asking, 3 additional damage for a character level, that doesn't really feel like a whole lot. Well, it's because there's a game mechanic that we haven't actually explored just yet. Because up until this point, it hasn't mattered. But a little bit later, we're going to unlock access to the blacksmith. And when we get to the blacksmith, we will gain the ability to actually upgrade our weapon's state. It'll become like Ushikatana +1. And once we do that, we're actually modifying the base weapon damage. Additionally, it can modify the scaling of the damage as you level it up. So between those two, both raising the base and raising the what's that thing called again? Stat bonus, parameter bonus. Oh. The weapon scaling in others will be able to actually greatly increase the amount of damage that our selected weapon will do with each strike. So the same weapon at the beginning that feels like utter trash can actually end up, after being upgraded enough, you can end up using it to great success. So, got so focused on talking that I could have already leveled up once. That's a classic example of just playing in the background. Trying to focus on talking, but still playing Dark Souls. So we can go ahead and cash in on that free level up. Oops. So level up. Let's get our dexterity one more. And our 25 is now 27. Additional 3 points of damage on thrust. Oh. Titanite Shard. That right there is a very, very useful item. We will be using it for most of our basic weapon upgrades. So some of your more special weapons rely on other upgrade components, but the Titanite Shard, by and large, is going to upgrade most of your casual weapons. So you can also buy them from the blacksmith, but they do cost quite a bit compared to finding them in the world. So it is always a joy to find one on an enemy, or as a drop. So we're at 1400. I don't know if that's a level up or not. It is. So our dexterity is now 20. And we'll go ahead and say that's good for now. Like I said, I usually like to just keep the loop going, get to 25, but you get the picture. Oh. So, this shiny message here, we could summon, like here's a character named Tolly, that would be willing to help us. So if you are in a human state, you can summon other players to help you. In our case, we are human, but we're going to forego it for now. We have other goals in mind. Careful in this room, it is very easy to get overburdened. To get overcome by numbers. There are 3 enemies that will jump at you. So drop the 2 quickly, or you can strafe them back out and pull them down that bridge. This door you can't open, it only opens from the other side. So we have to progress down here. I'm going to go into this building. Careful, there's a dude here waiting. There's also a guy right here. But we want this treasure to get some fire bombs. Up top here, there are 3 more enemies waiting. Okay. And you can go up that ladder, and there's some more enemies over there if you're interested. I'm going to forgo them for now. Here, you want to progress inside this tower, because at the top, there's a crossbowman. If you don't, he'll shoot arrows down at you from right here. So go ahead and get the easy kill. If you took a thief or bought the residence key, you can open this door. Inside here is a treasure chest. You definitely want this, because that right there is worth far more than 1,000 souls it takes to get that key. Those are, I believe, about 1,000 each later. So come on, trying to pull them. I think we could two-hand it. Nope. The other guy wants to come play though. So we'll let him do his thing. We'll dance around him. Get the kill. Get the kill. One more. Dance. Kill. Titanite Shard. Excellent. Here, there's the little barrel guy up top. When I get to that little broken ledge, he's going to kick it off. It's going to set on fire, and it's a trap. So you'll want to run back down the stairs or dodge around or through it. So don't want to get hurt. There you go. So that way we can take care of those guys. Next, we have an enemy down here if you're feeling adventurous. You don't have to. These guys are known as the Black Knights. The Black Knights are sprinkled throughout the game. They are arduous challenges for you to overcome. You don't have to kill them. You definitely don't at this point. If you feel that the challenge is just too much, by all means come back at a later point in time and try to take them on, because they are more difficult. Actually, I wanted to try this approach. Since we got these, and I haven't actually tried this, let's find out. They're right past this guy. The reason we care, there's a ring. I want the treasure, so see if we can sneak up on it. Got the backstab. He's not going to be surprised anymore. Huh. So the black firebomb's in his face. If he shield blocks, though, it's far less effective. Bait out his attack. Ouch. I think we're out of firebombs now, though. Don't fall for that little trap, because that will lead you to a wall. Yep, we're out of firebombs. So we're going to have to rely on parrying. Titanite chunk, excellent. We won't be able to use that part of the Titanite upgrade for quite some time, but hey, we'll bank it for the future. Plus, we get a ton of souls by doing that. So let's go get this ring. The blue tearstone ring. Now the blue tearstone ring, if we go over here and we check our rings, which, as an aside, I love the fact that Dark Souls 1 has only 2 ring slots. I like in the others how there's 4, but I love how in Dark Souls 1 there's only 2. Because, man, it makes you pick, and you've got to be so focused on, okay, so this I need, that I need, and if you also later get the Ring of Favor and Protection, the ring breaks if you take it off. So, I mean, it really, really requires you to know and consider all different types of things for your build. So it's great. I do enjoy that. So I equipped it, but I didn't actually talk about it. So what it actually does, it says down at the bottom here, the blue tearstone ring from Katarina boosts the defense of the wearer when in danger. So if we get down to, I think it's 10 or 15% HP, I don't remember exactly which one, it's going to have a magical effect that will appear around us, and we gain additional defense, because we need help or we're going to die. So we will progress up through here. And we are at the next fog gate. I don't think there's anything... Oh. I was wrong. There was something in that barrel. So, very nice. We just picked up 2 items. Twinkling Titanite and Titanite chunks. We already discussed the chunks, but the Twinkling Titanite is used for your more specialized weapons or shields, and I think maybe even armors. But so thankfully they do tell you this is for standard weaponry and this is for weapons not reinforced normally, so non-standard. So yeah, here we've got another boss fight. This one is against the Taurus Demon. First and foremost, he's going to come down from that side up ahead. But before we do that, there's a ladder here. You will want to go up this ladder. Because there's a couple of guys right here that are just going to be utter jerks. Try to ruin your fight by raining down arrows on you the whole time. You also want to know that this ladder is a thing, because we're going to use it like we did with the Asylum Demon. We're going to use it as a drop attack. So wait for him to pop up, then sprint back. Climb up that ladder. You can't stay here forever. He will jump up here. But get the drop on him, get the damage, try to get around him. Oh, haha. See if we can get him away from that ladder. Okay. Climb up the ladder again. Hope and pray we don't get hit. And there you have it. So let's go ahead and give a nice hoorah! Shout for victory. And progress on through the area. Over here, you got some souls. As soon as you exit out here, you will want to avoid this bridge for now, because you got to go this way and talk to the, as it's been worded, the misplaced optimist, our favorite sunbro ever.
Ah, hello. You don't look hollow, far from it. I am Soler of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am you find no need to...
So we'll go ahead and get his conversation done. Sure.
The way I see it, in a land bridge, so what
Absolutely.
pleases me greatly.
So with this, we will be able to engage in multiplayer.
We are amidst strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time, it's the very fabric, there's no telling how much but used to summon one another as spirit and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are not the, but I am a warrior of the sun. If you miss it, you...
And we'll get his final line.
Oh, hello there. The sun is a wondrous body, like a magnificent father. If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
So we'll bid farewell to our favorite sunbro for now. And the minute we start crossing this bridge, that red fire drake from earlier is going to swoop down and firebomb the bridge. So FYI, we're going to bail out to the right here, about where that first enemy is. There's a bridge, a little staircase down. That is our goal. So let's go ahead and start getting there. Focus on the goal. Thankfully we didn't get killed. But we can now come down here. And this ladder. Press kick. climb on down. And we're back at that bonfire we were at earlier. But now we have this cool new ladder. So let's go ahead and level up. Get 2 more levels of dex. I am about just under 200 shy. So let's see what we have. Well, we got this. That should do it. So if we look at our Uchikatana again, we've now gone up to plus 35. So our character is now doing 125 on his one-handed weapon attacks. Not too shabby. So our HP is still abysmal. Our stamina is equally so. But for now, this should be fine. So we got this guy, you know his story. This guy right here can be a major annoyance. Okay. Now we need to be exceptionally careful. Because I mentioned the rats earlier, there are 3 of them in this room. If we get poisoned, it is a death sentence. So be incredibly cautious when fighting them. Don't do what I just did, just there and try to kick them. So there we go. And remember that Black Knight we faced off against earlier? There's another one of them up ahead. So if you want to go up there and fight one, this one, instead of wielding a sword, he has a 2-handed greatsword. So he's a little bit more tough. So we're going to progress this way, though. Nope. Ow. A lot of damage. Go ahead and heal up. Okay, here. Before we progress, up ahead you have an armored boar. So if you really feel like taking on the armored boar, there is a weak spot on its hind where you can get that backstab in. If you get in front of its face, though, it will use a charge attack, and especially with our current HP, I think it will one-shot us. So we definitely want to avoid that. However, there's a safer route if we don't necessarily feel like killing him. He is worth a good bit of souls, but considering the number of, there's like up top, you've got 2 guys with crossbows, there's 2 of the shield-wielding guys that are going to rush you here in a second, and there's actually another guy just around this corner up through the archway here to the right that will ambush us. He's a spear wielder. So, considering all those things, it can be a little bit of a challenge right here at this choke point. Once you kill the armored boar, though, he is gone forever. He's a one-time enemy. So very handy if all else fails, just kill the boar, take care of it from there. However, there's also a staircase off to the right that I will advance up and over, and then proceed down behind the boar. Now, you've got to be very careful in doing this technique because you are going to be the focus of everyone's attention as soon as you start, so you cannot stop, otherwise they will swarm around you. So let's go ahead. I will progress up the staircase that you will see right here. Whoops. Drop down, roll, roll, and now we are underneath and behind the boar. So I'm going to progress this way. We'll take care of these little hollows. Oh. Ow. Go ahead and get the mystery key. And none of the other enemies followed us. So here, we will need to drop these two guys. Go ahead and heal up. And with some careful platforming here, get some more souls. And we'll proceed up this ladder. Oops. Next, we will go through this fog gate. This doesn't lead to a boss, but it does lead to a ledge that is above these guys. Now, the treasure here is actually an alluring skull, an item you can use to draw enemies toward one side. So if you're struggling, some enemies are prone to following after that item. Very handy. This guy up ahead is known as a Balder Knight. I'm going to try and get the drop on him. Gotta step quietly. There we go. Because we want that shield. So, sorry, unnamed knight. Got some really sweet looking armor, by the way. But we're going to go ahead and switch from the target shield to the knight shield. Our first 100% physical blocking shield. So that's handy. We've now got a 100% physical block defense. So like here, boink, nothing, nothing. But it still takes stamina to block. So that would be its trade-off. However, we're no longer getting chip damage applied to us. Now here, there are two enemies waiting. One there with a spear. And if I advance, there's a Balder Knight around the corner. Shield Bro actually got a little aggressive this time. Normally he just dances back and forth. Maybe we can actually lure him. That'd be great. Nope, he's left his post. That's interesting. Ah, and the Balder Knight has now come to play. See if I can get that jumping attack again. That was pretty cool. Nope, but that works. Okay. Works for us. So here, we gotta be a little careful. You do not want to enter the church just yet. Although one of them saw me anyway. Because the church is crawling with the Baldur Knights. Oh! Sounds like we got invaded. A little bit of a bummer. So let's see if he'll play nice for just 2 seconds. We'll get that key. And I'm going to progress this way. Warpickle sees me. I'm going to give him a wave. Hi. He don't care. He wants the backstab. Oh, we're running Pyromancy too. So I'm going to go ahead and do the church run, even though you shouldn't. Wanting to see how committed to this cause he is. He's pretty committed to it. Now he's just messing with me because he knows I'm basically doing nothing. But that's okay. So unfortunate because we were regrettably right at the next bonfire, but that's okay. That is the downside of being in human form. It opens you up for invasions. Some players don't necessarily like it, how the PvP spills into the PvE gameplay. They wish the two were separated. I totally understand it. I am one of those types of players. Just because I don't like taking on and challenging other people. That's not something I find interesting. But to each their own. I'm also not going to ruin, for all I know, Warpickle, I think that was that guy's name. That may be exactly why he likes playing Dark Souls. To me, as long as you're playing Dark Souls, I don't necessarily care where and how you're having fun. I'm just happy you're excited having fun. So, to each their own. Okay, so our souls are over there. So now I'm going to use a variant of our previous tactic. We're still going to do the run here. But now we can advance through this doorway we opened. They're going to try to pursue me to the ends of the earth. But that's okay. Because I'm going to make a dash here. Get us back on track. And here's that bonfire. So let's go down here and talk to Andre.
Well, you must be a new arrival. I'm Andre, I'm a store rat. If you require smithing, then speak.
So we'll learn his gesture. And let's repair what damages we have. Keep our gear up to date. And let's go ahead and reinforce weapon. And I just toggled the display here to go from just the standard to a more thorough breakdown. As you can see in the center here, we're going to upgrade the base of the weapon by 9, so go from 90 to 99 damage, and our scaling bonus will go from 35 to 41. So between the 9 and the 6, we're picking up 15 more just by this one upgrade. So we can upgrade to +1. We also have another Titanite shard that's required, so we can get an extra. So this is 99 to 108, so 9 more, 41 to 45, that's 4 points, so 13 more. So with just those 2 upgrades, we gained an additional 28.
Go and get yourself knight.
So now, our weapon is 108 plus 45. We're already at 153. So we were excited about being at 125, and now we've already basically outclassed that.
Well, me.
So let's also look reinforced weapon, Uchigatana, it'll take 2. If we go to purchase item, we can see that a Titanite shard is 800. There's a couple other things he will sell, but
I'll be seeing you.
let's see if I have any soft souls. Perfect.
Well, need it.
So we will purchase 2. If I go to reinforce, it's going to take 200 souls.
Get yourself killed.
So let's go ahead. Also, you can see at this bonfire that we only got 9. That's because I've rested at 1, but it's only activated, it hasn't been kindled. So let's go ahead and reverse hollowing. And go ahead and kindle. And our 9 will now go back up to 10. So, incidentally, this is an important bonfire because it's the closest one to the next boss. And that up ahead is Sen's Fortress. So, there's only this bonfire and the bonfire at the top. So, just hold on 1 second. Okay. There's only this one and the one at the top. So, you definitely, if you're going strategic with the bonfires, this is one, just go ahead and light it fully. So we did just open ourselves up for PvP encounters again, but that's okay. Gotta do what you gotta do. So first, let's come over here. Let's get those 200 souls that we need. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and actually do one more thing here. The Bernicky Knight from before. Actually, I'll just go ahead and have him follow me out here. Come on, bud. Got this wide open little fighting area right here just for you. So, In my experience, you can't get him to backstab, but still worth your time to circle strafe around him. Just because that mace is big and scary and hurts a lot. So go ahead and drop him. And of course he drops the Titanite shard. He also, however, is a one-time enemy, and he's guarding this treasure. So we will take advantage of that treasure. So let's go back here. We've got 1100. Ooh. Got summon signs left and right now. Probably because there's another boss just up ahead. So let's talk to Andre. We'll reinforce our weapon one more time. This is going to give us an extra 8 and 3 for 11 more. And if I get one more Titanite shard, so purchase Titanite shard, reinforce. I don't have enough souls, I need 200. We can get some more again here in a second. So I'm feeling pretty confident right now with our level. If we come down here, we can find out if it's worth it or not. This is a Demon Titanite. Oop, I'm getting stuck on him. 44. It's not necessarily too bad. Oop, ow. But we have no HP. So we can take him on, we just gotta be careful. Oh. Definitely go ahead and heal. Ow. So we're almost done killing him. Hopefully we can drop him before he does anything too drastic. Like that. Because our character's HP is really low. One or two false steps will definitely kill us. Oh. And there we go. So we will earn Demon Titanite by killing him. That is a third form of Titanite that we can use in order to upgrade some of our weapons. Definitely want to hold on. There are so many different upgrade materials in this game, but that's okay. So let's talk to Andre. Be like, hey Andre, I know I just had you fix my sword, but I need you to fix it again. We're going to pick up another 14. And for the next upgrade, we're going to need 3 more. So let's purchase, get 2. So I'm going to need, is it 200? It's still 200, but I need an extra Titanite, which means 800. So I need 1,000 souls in order to do the next upgrade for this weapon. I don't have any soft souls, but that's okay. Let's drop these enemies. Oh, I didn't rest at the fire, so they're already dead. Well, that's okay. We'll proceed over here. We need to unlock this elevator. This is going to open access back to the Firelink Shrine. Okay. There's Petra of Thorland. We can talk to him later. Here we are back at Firelink Shrine. So let's go ahead, consume this. That'll give us 200. Before we progress, I want to go ahead and talk to this lady. She won't actually speak, but she offers the menu. This is one of the fire keepers. We can get the reinforced Estus flask option, but in order to do so, you need to have the fire keeper's soul. That's that one treasure that the Bernanke Knight was guarding we picked up. So we'll go ahead and say yes, and notice that our Estus flask now says Estus flask +1. So now every single time that we heal, we will gain a little bit more healing than before. We've powered up our healing potion, as it were. So now we can progress back up here. And we will take this elevator back up. It is a double-sided elevator, so you're always guaranteed you can go between the two without a wait. You just saw the other side go down. So that's kind of nifty. So let's go over here. Like we said before, we need 1,000 souls. Okay. Now we don't quite have it, but that's okay. If you wanted to, you could go over there and fight those guys. I'm going to progress over here. There's one at the top of the stairs. Oh. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and heal up, because this part can be a little scary. You got the channeler that's shooting magic at us, and you've got this very, very active hollow army that's marching towards us. Thankfully, once you drop the channeler once, he doesn't come back. Although his ragdoll effect is actually making it difficult to see. I am exploiting terrain. So with those guys all dead, we can go over here, get that item. We're gonna have a little sword thrusting duel. Fortunately for him, I won. Fortunately for me, he also dropped a Titanite shard. So you can blitz through that wall, smack it with your sword, whatever you want to do. Because up here, we've got an NPC.
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
So you can go ahead and open this. It uses the mystery key.
Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later.
So, there you go. We freed Knight Lautrec from his little prison using that mystery key. And for those that know further in the story, that's all we're going to leave it at for now. So we will go ahead, head back to Andre, get our final upgrade, possibly get a level up, not sure. Probably will be able to get one. Unfortunately in Dark Souls 1 you can't check how many souls are needed for the next level unless you're actively sitting at a bonfire. That would have been a welcome change in my mind. So let's see. We can get a level up, but it'll put us below. We'll have to pop the souls. So that's okay. We'll just go ahead and consume that. Very nice. So let's go ahead and reinforce our Uchikatana. Oops, canceled. So we're going to pick up 9 base and 4 more. So 13 additional. And now we can no longer reinforce our Uchikatana. Instead, we have to modify to escalate it to +6. But we can't do that yet either because we have to upgrade Andre so that he can actively give us those services. So for now, this is the most powerful we can get this katana. I'm going to go ahead and look at our armor options. Pretty sparse. That's okay. We have our ring options already set. So by and large, this is about where we would be able to take the character. So we've already rested. We've already leveled. Let's proceed to the final challenge that I would like to do in this portion of the walkthrough. And we will take on one final boss. I was hoping he would just give me a free pass, but that's okay. The hollows aren't being nice either. Well, there you can see our ring kicking in. So that's fine. That just means we'll be down an Estus flask or two. And we'll take on the boss. Hopefully we won't need those flasks. Ow. Ow. Oh, I'm on fire. And now I'm dead. It's one thing you definitely gotta watch for with those flames. We're getting stun locked at a very bad place at a very bad time. However, we did halfway through the battle, like you saw, we were offered the Gargoyle Tail Axe. The Gargoyle Tail Axe was a reward for a special condition. We chopped off the Gargoyle's tail. So, I don't believe that we'll still have his tail missing when we go back. I also don't believe that you can get a second one of it from the battle. But if that's a type of weapon that you want, you're able to do that little gimmick on some of the boss fights to earn boss fight weapons, which is kind of fun. So our biggest shortcoming on this character right now is we still have our starting HP, and it's not good enough in some cases. Nope, he still has his tail. Oops. So, fire breather. Ow. Not looking good. I'm just losing sight of them with the camera. So we need to go ahead and focus on this part. I'm trying to be hasty and that's getting me killed. I'm also going to go ahead and drop our shield. We're not actively using it. I'll two-hand the weapon instead. And if you look at our character stats, you can see that at two-handed we get 194. At one-handed we get... Oh no, it still shows 194. Interesting. Maybe it doesn't actually show it on the screen. Just gonna waltz on by that last one. He's pretty oblivious to the world. So here we go. Ouch. Oops. And there you go. key to victory is focus. Don't try to be greedy. The greed will get you killed most of the time. Honestly, the most of your deaths in Dark Souls, at least in my case, are due to either greed or gravity. Those two are my worst enemies. So we're going to proceed up here. We'll ring the first bell of awakening. And unceremoniously, they dump you back into the game world, leaving you wondering, where do I go from here? Well, you gotta go talk to Oswald.
Greeting. I am Oswald of Career. No purist. Cometh out to confess.
So we'll learn the gesture. Well, what is it? And check out his items. So, if you had the 15,000, here's a ring that could help with the rats. In my opinion, it's not worth it really, because it's very, very specific. Most of the time, by the time the worst of the poison comes later, you're going to be so accustomed to the poison, or at least have the items to deal with it, it's generally not worth it. So all the hollows are over there now trying to come kill us. So we're going to go ahead and use a homeward bone, which will send us back to the bonfire. So we'll say yes and get our free teleport. We'll go ahead and cash in those 10,000 souls. Get our dex up to 25 like we wanted. And now we can get a couple levels put into our vitality. Start getting our HP raised. So, for now, that's going to be the first part of this series. We've gone ahead from character creation screen and gone through the first bell of awakening. So, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've learned some little things along the way. Next, we will be proceeding towards the second bell of awakening. We'll also be picking up a couple of items and finishing out. So for now, take care, and we'll see you next time as we continue our way through Lordran. Farewell.